This is a story about isolation madness, the dark unraveling of the human mind when faced with the crushing weight of extreme loneliness. What happens when the only voice you hear is your own, and even that begins to turn against you? 6 months ago, Noah signed up for an experiment. He was promised a hefty sum of money in exchange for living alone in a remote, windowless facility. No human contact, no phone, no internet, just him, a small apartment-like room, and endless silence. At first it was easy. Noah savoured the solitude. He read books, cooked simple meals, exercised, and enjoyed the novelty of being completely disconnected. But by the second month, the quiet became oppressive. The hum of the fluorescent lights grew louder. The ticking of the clock felt like a countdown to nothing. He began talking to himself to fill the void. Day 45, he recorded into a notebook, his handwriting becoming messier. Still alive, still sane, but the cracks began to show. He started forgetting whether he had already eaten or slept. The days bled together. Was it morning, night? Who could tell? By month 3, Noah started hearing things. A faint knock at the door, whispered voices just beyond the walls. "Hello?" he'd call out, his voice echoing. There was never a response. He began pacing the room, desperate for proof that he wasn't alone. When nothing came, he turned to the only thing that felt real, his own reflection in the bathroom mirror. "You're not crazy," he whispered to himself, but the reflection didn't whisper back. It smiled. By month 4, Noah stopped sleeping. The whispers turned into screams, coming from every direction. He scribbled frantically in his notebook, trying to piece together what was real. "Is someone here? Am I imagining this?" he wrote, but the words seemed foreign, as if someone else had written them. One night he saw shadows moving in the corner of the room. He lunged at them, only to find himself standing alone, fists clenched, trembling. Then the messages began. Scratched into the walls, written in his own handwriting, were phrases he didn't remember writing. "You're not alone. They're watching. It's all your fault." By the 5th month, Noah was no longer sure who he was. He avoided the mirror, afraid of what he might see. His reflection had become its own entity, a cruel mockery that smirked and whispered things he couldn't understand. One night, he woke to find the reflection standing outside the mirror, staring at him. "Who are you?" Noah screamed. The reflection tilted its head. "Who are you?" When the experiment finally ended, the researchers opened the door to find Noah sitting in the corner, rocking back and forth. He had carved hundreds of tally marks into the walls. His notebook was filled with nonsense, pages and pages of spirals, scribbles, and a single repeated sentence. "There's no such thing as alone." When they tried to talk to him, he only laughed. "Did you hear the whispers?" he asked one of the researchers. "They told me everything. About you, about me, about what's out there." "What's out there, Noah?" He leaned in close, his voice barely a whisper. "Nothing. And that's the scariest part.